How you doing this evening? Jacob Chris of the Pundits Pundit, Jen the professional fan. How's it going tonight, Jen?
Great. How are you tonight, Jacob?
Well, my hair is no less gray than it was last week. So,
Hey, I like it. So you're not so
it,
stressed.
well,
Appreciate that.
no, the main thing is the only difference between this week and last week is Elon Musk might actually have Twitter this time.
Well, that's excited.
Well, that was a weird little. The last couple of days have been a weird little news cycle about Elon Musk and going after that.
It really has been. Hold on.
The big deal that I look at was something with that is the fact that no matter what, I have complete belief that Twitter's never going to be the same after tonight, regardless.
Oh, absolutely not.
Because now this is very much conjecture, but I'm just saying it this way. It's like these are possibilities. He gets it. It's Elon Musk now, and you're probably going to see Trump back. That's number one.
No.
Yeah, we're going to see him back. Well, remember he talked about the.
Yeah, I know we go off the bot, but Out had recorded something, and that we were watching a commercial on whatever he had recorded on DVR. Yeah. They have a freaking Trumpy bear.
Oh, I saw that. I've seen that.
Oh my God! I'm like, are you kidding me? Okay. But anyway.
But it's like you're going to probably see Trump back because he's been talking about free speech and all that stuff. So that's what you're going to see with that. But then even if you don't see it, this being this close to losing the company to someone that can afford it, they're going to change things. They're not going to allow the wild west of censorship like they've been doing. The Twitter as we know it is over after tonight.
So here's the thing. There is a double-edged sword with Twitter. Yeah. And that, like, Pelosi hasn't been censored, things like that. Yeah. But I'm all for people who are inciting violence, and Trump was doing that on his Twitter feed. You shouldn't do it. You're not allowed to shout fire in a theater. You're not allowed to say the word bomb in an airport. There are reasons for that. And they're valid reasons.
Oh, and I'm not saying you're wrong whatsoever on something like that. I'm just saying what the possibilities are with this. And the biggest thing is, though, we've had a very big wild west of censorship with Twitter. Just like you will see some very reprehensible people on the other side not at all. From there, the extremist Muslims and everything like that, they won't get banned, but then you'll see some certain conservatives that will. And it's like, I don't know if it's fear or I don't know if it's just that they prefer it, but we don't know. But the thing is that the whole Wild West deal will end. I know darn good and well that even if he doesn't lose it, they're not going to put up with that anymore. Because if it's not Elon Musk, it'd be Peter Thiel the next time.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm just so sick of... I kind of want some semblance of normalcy back.
So do I.
And like, I know you and I kind of agree and disagree on this topic, but I don't want to see Gucci like having men in like dresses anymore. Like, I don't get that. Right. I get if it's a kilt. I get that.
Yeah.
I get if it's African, and you're selling to, the tribes and everything like that actually have that historical aspect and value.
Yeah.
But a tweed skirt, I don't understand.
Well, the big thing about it is the fact we're going to see for sure how Disney handles it. Because remember, Disney's having some problems right now with their parks because kind of the whole woke deal. So we're going to see sort of what's going on with that. And if Disney fails with it, no one else is going to try that. Right. I mean, Disney is the biggest company in the world. If they succeed, everybody else is going to. We're just following along with one of the biggest companies in the world.
Yeah. And I don't know. Disney kind of scares me just because Dan Snyder.
Oh, God, Dan Snyder.
Dan Snyder, Dan Schneider. The guy, the producer for a lot of the Nickelodeon kids shows. That was ousted. Yeah. Dan
Snyder's scary too.
Oh, yeah. We can discuss that in a minute. But I have a good little conspiracy theory on that, but I think it's actually somewhat valid.
Right.
So, but yeah, like I don't know. I worry for our country, but I also know that we're going to be okay because some changes do need to be made. And that's a good thing that certain changes are happening. I think sometimes it's a little bit too much. I don't think all cops are bad. I think there's some. I think the police officers I've spoken to have said, yeah, we're all down for some reform because the bad cops make the good cops look bad.
Sure.
You know? And I mean, that's just like how it is with people. You got good people, you got bad people. And you know what? The bad people are going to be the ones that make the news.
Well, my personality is I don't panic over. A lot of people will panic over changes. I don't panic over changes, and it's because I'm a person. See, having an older family like I did, an older dad like I did, you understand that he was born in 28. You understand that there was a lot of changes in that time. You know, compared to somebody who might have had a dad born 60, 65, whatever. You know, or 58 or something. And it's like, see, changes were in during that time. And it's like, I mean, remember civil rights era, type changes. And you get those. And it's like, changes are meant to be. So I don't panic over the changes like certain people will, whether on anything on social media or not. I don't, or review the older people that remembers the old days. I know that there's things I want to see back myself, to normal.
Right.
And they should be back to normal. So don't get that wrong. But then there are things that will change, and I'm not going to be scared of it because life does change.
Yes, absolutely. It does.
Like for instance, one change I'll say into this. There's a thing today stating, and you saw this: 33% of women now watch the NBA.
Yes, and you know what? That actually annoyed me that's even newsworthy because women have always been into sports, so now I feel like that was clickbait. Because, and I think you and I were discussing this earlier too, because so many men have that preconceived notion that women don't like sports. Well, a lot of girls play sports, boys.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it is.
Well, one of the things about this is the fact that I still meet men who are shocked at women, that know sports because they're still old school wives. Whether it be in a small town or even in this big city. I mean, remember, I work as a suit salesman too,
Right.
And so you go in there and I still meet some old-fashioned men that have old-fashioned women wives, and the wives just roll their eyes the minute we talk sports. They roll their eyes. It's like there are women that just can't stand it, and that is what a lot of men see. They still see.
Have you noticed that there's more men coming out and being honest about not liking sports too?
Yeah. Well, see,
because that's just how it is.
I have always said, this is what when I talk to people about sports and they say they don't like it that much, I always say there's three things that are what a man will like at least 100%, at least one of them: sports, cars, or music. And it's like, and there is no one that doesn't like at least one of them.
True. And I was lucky, side note, I got to see my future ex-husband floor seats for the first time ever last Friday night. It was a great time. And if my buddy Meryl's watching, thanks for being my date, my friend.
But that's one of the things I've always said that. So that's one of the things I say because I was a sports guy all my life. I mean, music was that noise you heard at halftime of ball games. I mean, what is that noise? I mean, it's like, it's that stuff you hear at halftime while I go get a hot dog.
Right.
No, I mean, that's just what it was to me. To this day, even to this day, I'm like, you don't take me to Tuesday night trivia for music. You just don't. And it's like, and I will say the music, unless someone wants me to have the lyrics of an incredibly obscure 80s music, it's like, I would be the type that will miss all night, then I'll catch something really obscure and know it.
I'm right there too, because now I'm like, I put on I have Sirius and I will put on whatever, I forgot the name of the radio station. It's like Hits 100 or whatever.
Sure.
And I'm like, who are these people? And I'm like, can you take me back to the 80s station? Or pop rocks?
Yeah, right. Oh, I know the music. Like, if I hear the noise, I'll know the music. My brother used to listen to music growing up. So the music. I just wouldn't know the title. And I mean, they're just like, okay, I'll know a few Bon Jovi. It's like, I'll know that.
Right.
I might do a little little bit of Kiss, a little. I'm like, those are like 80s. You know what I mean? It's like I'll get a couple of the songs if I get it, but I'm like, boy, don't put me in a trivia because it's like I might miss the easiest crap alive.
So if you like, I don't know, there's so much. I don't know. I almost feel like there's some really good musicians out there and singers right now. Like I like Lil Nas X. I do not like Cardi B. Like.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I think I picked up a Cardi B at the grocery store, trying to get for her birthday.
Yeah. You're such a dork. You just aged yourself like 500 years.
Oh, I know. But that's why I have gray hair, so. No, but one of the greatest things about my jokes is the fact that I can see I'm in prom season right now where I'm at, and the fact that I can make kids laugh with their references. I can also make their parents and their grandparents laugh too. I can go back. I can go all three eras. So that's a good thing. It's not like that I'm just this old man that just goes to the thing. I can follow everyone. I can follow everything and make jokes about it.
Exactly. And here's the thing that I feel like going back on topic a little bit.
Sure.
I feel like women have always liked sports, but they weren't really allowed to because men decided we didn't like sports. But like me, I'll make the joke and my dad will kind of look at me like it's not funny because it's true. But I'll joke around and say my dad had me catching a football when I was 2. My husband played football all through junior high school, and do you know, now he was defense. He was a defensive lineman. But do you know who taught him how to throw a football correctly?
Who? Mom?
Me.
You?
Me.
Yeah.
Me. Wife. I also taught him how to drive a stick too. That's another story for another day.
You don't have to teach me how to drive a stick. That was my first 10 years of driving.
Love it. I miss driving a stick, man. Yeah. But I just feel like we're like, so like, I hate to say my dad was before his time, but my dad just always talked to me about sports. He'll tell you to this day, his biggest regret as a father was letting me start swimming instead of really focusing in on running, because apparently I have a really good natural stride. Yeah. So, I mean, I just feel bad for people. And there's a lot of men, like, I even have a friend who's like, oh, I'm not going to teach my daughter that. I'm like, why not? Don't you enjoy talking with the girls in our group? Like, make your daughter that chick. Like,
I think I've always been a bit forward. You know what I mean? I've always been a bit forward with, it's like as far as with the women, as far as what women are capable of. I have to tell you a couple of stories. It's like one of the stories, like growing up in our town, we knew this lady named BJ Adams, the Beejay, and it was because she called herself BJ, the letters, because she was the first writer at on our town's newspaper. Because they said BJ, they thought it was a man. So see, and then when they found out she was a woman, she did the Beejay. So it was like she was one of the first women to do everything in that town. I mean, she had the brewery in our town. Well, I wouldn't say the brewery, but she had a business in our town. She did everything before women are supposed to.
Yeah,
well before. But and plus our family, it's just a little different from what my thought process is. Like women can do anything. So
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say my parents were stationed in Germany in the early 70s. And you know about the Autobahn.
Sure.
Well, my mom's feisty. And she would get on the Autobahn and drive and pass these men on the Autobahn. And they would get so mad at her for passing them. And it was because she was a woman. Sorry, it's a little bit windy out here, so my hair keeps getting in my nose. But she would just go by and blow them kisses as she was passing them. And they were flipping her off and raising their hand like that.
I let you do that. No, there's always going to be a little bit of emasculation in a certain way with even way back when. I saw this one round table thing for Formula One. They're all talking Formula One. And all of a sudden, here's this woman there. And I'm like, wow, 1974. There's a woman talking.
Oh, did you watch that last night? On TV?
No. What are you talking about?
Oh, we were walking. Okay, so actually, after our conversation in one of the chats, or wherever we were having this conversation, because I vaguely remember it. But last night on TV, they were doing after the Hornets game, and stalled train by accident. Not buying it. Anyway, they were interviewing the first female driver that Jem France Sr. had gotten up and actually got her sponsors for back in like 60s and 70s.
Sure. You're talking about Indy?
What was her name?
I
was really tired, so I was kind of paying attention, but not really.
I know I forget the name right now, but I watched it. See, what I have done is like during COVID, I was watching a lot of older stuff because it's like I was out every day, but I was out every day doing deliveries, but also you have a lot of time because there's nothing else to go out. So I was watching old Bears games. I'd watch the old Larry Bird stuff. You're just going back and you're getting information, from stuff you've already seen. But I decided to get myself to learn an idea about racing a little bit. You know what I mean? And it's like I decided to do that. And sorry about the buzzing real quick, but it's like I decided to do something like that and watch. And then there was this thing I was looking for Formula One, NASCAR, and Indy, which that could be F1 too, And all of a sudden, like I'm seeing a thing from 1974, and there's a woman right there. And it ended up, I talked to somebody about that because women talking sports in the 1970s is a no-no, and that this is in Europe. And they said, even way back in the 60s, she had run the 24 Hours of Le Mans. I forget the lady's name, but I'm like, women all the way back, even if they were one or two, they've always said, prove it. There's more of them now. There's just more of them now.
Yeah, there is. I have a coffee mug my mom got me that just says, tell me I can't do something. Sit back and watch me do it. It's a really big coffee mug, obviously.
Well, that definitely could have gone to the train people last night to help Charlotte.
That stalled train. I'm just saying, I don't buy it. I'm going to quote our friend, Mr. Bryce Young, and say, that was the Trey train. They were trying to get Trey amped up and mess with my players' psyches, because as soon as I heard that, the first thing, because obviously I'm a Panthers fan, but the first thing I thought of was like in 2015, we were playing Seattle. Yeah. In Seattle. And some kind fan pulled the fire alarm and the players' hotel. I think it was 3, but I know it was at least 2 times, including at like 5 o'clock in the morning. And then we were losing the first half. And then I saw this look come over, and we'll get to him, Cam Newton's face. And I'll never forget this. It was, watch me, we're going to win. And we ended up winning. So.
Well, that all these things, it's like there's always been psych outs. Like over back in the 80s, they didn't even try to do this. They just did. It's like Boston Garden predated air conditioning. Yeah. So you'd have every single summer when they made the playoffs every year. So you had every single summer with no air conditioning. It'd be 100 degrees in there. Just a little different in one of the games, Game 5 of the '84 finals. It got a little extra hot in there, like about 111 or something inside like when it was like 94 outside. And it was like, all the Celtics were used to it, but the Lakers, they had the air conditioning in the Forum. Right. So there was, and then plus the fact that Boston Gardens, the locker room's about this big, the visitor locker room is about that big. So then they did all these big guys in that really hot area, really hot, ridiculous. Yeah. And it's all that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden they had to have an oxygen tank for Kareem and all that kind of stuff. And it was just a blowout. It's like there's just teams and fans that try to do psych outs all the time. It's been that way since the beginning of time.
I was reading an interesting story about when Kareem and Shaq played together. Mm-hmm. And Kareem, and they were coming out of practice, and there was a little boy and his dad. And they asked Kareem if he would take a picture with them. And Kareem just walked on by. Kareem was known for that. Like, no shade. Mm-hmm. He was focused on the game. He was focused on practice. He was focused on how to be a better player. Sure. But Shaq was completely embarrassed by it. So he went and he goes, you know what? I know I'm not Kareem, but if you want, I'll take a picture with you guys. And he took the picture.
Was it Shaq or Magic? I was just asking.
I thought it was Shaq.
It's like unless he was teaching Shaq something. I was just asking. I didn't know which one. I've heard two different stories. I'm just trying to figure out which one it was.
I think it was Shaq. I can look it up and confirm.
Sure.
But no, Shaq, because Shaq's got a bigger business empire.
True.
And that's what the story was about. And Shaq goes and takes a picture. Well, years later, decades later, he's like getting investors set up for his like a new business venture.
Sure.
And he goes and meets with this brand new investor. It was the little boy he took a picture with.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And it was on his wall, like his office wall. And I just thought that was cool.
You ever watch Cobra Kai? This reminds me of this little story.
Yes.
You did on that. Did you see that one like second season or third season when he meets up when he's in Okinawa?
No, I didn't watch third season yet.
Well,
sorry.
Anyway, there's a part where he's in Okinawa and he's kind of his head's kind of shaky, so he goes to Okinawa alone, sees the girl again, sees Kumiko again, and all of a sudden, everything like that, he's trying to get his business saved. Everything is falling apart around him, all that kind of stuff, and you'll see that on the third season when you watch it. But I'll just give you a spoiler right now. The banker that is supposed to help is the girl he saved on the pole way back in that Karate Kid 2.
Okay.
So
that's cool.
And it's like she's the banker that's going to save his business.
Nice.
So it's like I love those stories like that because it's like you can do it in fiction, you can do it in real life too.
Exactly. But I do have to address the elephant.
We brought up Cam, so we might as well.
Yes. Okay, Cam. Have you ever watched this episode? Please
10 years from now.
Please no, sir. I am first and foremost a Carolina Panthers fan. Then I'm a Cam fan. Okay? My father, you ever want to know the history of the Panthers? Call my dad up, okay? And I hate that your words were taken out of context for clickbait, and yet you're getting more heat again. However, choose your words more wisely, because, sir, not only is the way to a man's heart through his stomach, but the way to a woman's heart is through her stomach. So learn how to cook, okay? Please, thank you. And while she's cooking, I really hope you're cleaning or having the kids you're cleaning are helping clean up. Just saying, because with the fact that you have more daughters than you do sons, you may want to make sure it's equal, buddy. You may want to make sure that your boys know how to make a nice red sauce, that your girls know how to make a really good rotisserie chicken, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like rotisserie chicken. Don't know why I said it. But
well, it's the only thing that came to your head that time.
Just make sure that you speak your words, because your words get taken out of context. You're too smart not to know this.
Yeah.
On top of that, just think, dude. Think. Because you're trying to say men, have to lead too. How you should have said it is there's an equal partnership, and your daddy was outnumbered in his house. So, because he was. And I feel sorry for my father-in-law, because he hadn't won an argument in 40 years. Because my husband's grandmother lived across the street from them. Okay. Sorry. I have more to go off on this topic, but I'm going to shush and let you speak now.
There's a thing about knowing what he said with something like that. The first thing I could think about is the Twitter morons, the Twitter mob. Which is absolutely why I want Elon. I brought that into it because I want Elon to win this. I'm tired of him.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is what I'm going to say. And I'm going to say this to Cam, and I'm going to say this to every single athlete, actor, politician, whatever. I'm going to say it right now. Quit apologizing.
Please.
Quit apologizing. Quit it. I mean,
unless you mean it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, this is the thing. You absolutely kill the meaning of apologies when you're making it a PR apology that's fake.
Right.
You already are. Go ahead.
John Cena really pissed me off when he apologized to China. Shut up, dude. China doesn't deserve an apology. The Chinese people are nice and fine, but we know what the government's all about.
Well, do you want to know who makes the most apologies? The ones that do not own anything, like businesses, whether they're owning their own trademarks, owning anything. Like you notice, you absolutely notice Dave Chappelle apologizes for nothing.
No, absolutely not, and I love it.
Yeah, you can't stop him though. He owns his own marks. He owns his own. Everything like that. His own production companies. His own everything. They called him to do the shows. But see, when you get a Patton Oswalt, let me just give an example. When you get a Patton Oswalt, and he might make something, and then he kowtows on Twitter for something or anything, whether it's political or anything like that, you know very well he doesn't own anything. He is working. He's a working actor. And guess what? Nothing against the working actor. I've acted 12 years. It's like, I would love to be a working actor. It isn't the point. When you're working all the time, you're going to get that. But if you don't own it, you don't own anything, then you're going to be at the mercy. And especially when Hollywood right now is absolutely, it's like, bro, you hear the whole thing with Harry Potter. Harry Potter, they're supposed to have a gay scene with, I believe, Dumbledore, whoever. I try not to pay attention to them too much. But they can't have it because it's in China. And China will not put up with it. And they won't put up the deal. And it's like, they can fight all they would want, but they don't own anything. In the end, if China owns you, you get this. And it's like, if you own something, you have everything. But it's like, if you apologize all the time, you're losing your job anyway.
Yep.
You're losing your job. You're losing your livelihood. You're doing things. So why did you do it?
I'm not allowed to apologize at work. I can say I'm sorry, something's frustrating, something like that. But honestly, like what we need, and I can explain, hey, this is one of those situations where if we ask for it from one customer, we ask for it from all customers. But and here's the thing, you can't placate to everyone, because who's the most successful comedian out there again?
Dave Chappelle.
Oh, that's what I thought. That's right. Who tried to get canceled, and when they tried to cancel him, he sold out more concerts.
Yeah.
Just stop. Yeah. I don't even want, 2017 Cam Newton comments, he needed to apologize because he called out a sports writer who happened to be a woman. Yeah. And she now covers the Chargers, I think, for The Athletic. She's always been with The Athletic and Charlotte, but she was owed an apology, but then dirty things came out about her too. From way back in the day, the Cam Defenders, went way back in her Twitter feed where she told some uncouth jokes, while she was in high school and college. Come on, Twitter mob, let's not do it.
Well, forget the Twitter mob. It's like, that's something I'm not going to ever do if I get to that, was apologize to the Twitter mob. That's no darn shit. But it's like, unless you mean it, of course, if you mean something. But Sam Elliott, he made legitimate things about the 1831 or whatever the show is.
Yeah.
He made legitimate beefs about it. And everything like that. He did make some crass language. He's 76 years old.
Yeah.
He's like, let him be. Why is he apologizing when he did mean it? Why is he apologizing? It's like, it's not like he needs the money nor the work. He can retire if it hurt him. It's like, this is the thing. It's like, it's one thing when it's a young person and they're still trying to work and get their name out there, or they've been young. Like, you can see The Rock, he's 50 years old. You can see him apologize. He's still younger and they can hurt a lot of things. Not a 76-year-old man who's had a history. You can go back to his movies forever and he'll give residuals till death.
And you know what?
To apologize.
I loved his political commercial that he made during the last presidential election.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know still who he was endorsing, because it was just be American, just vote, pretty much. But it was good. It was long. It was touching. I don't know. I like seeing it.
Well,
it happens.
Yeah.
And
are you on Netscape tonight?
And what?
Are you on Netscape tonight?
Yeah, how'd you know?
Oh, I can tell.
Is my internet going in and out?
Oh, crazy. But those the things with like I'm saying with Sam Elliott, with all that, it's like no man, he can easily lose. He did the apology. He could easily see when they're asking you to apologize and then you lose the job anyway. What was the point when you didn't mean it?
Right.
I'm saying this to Cam Newton. I'm saying this to everybody.
And Cam does not have a job right now.
Yeah, but I'm saying
he's probably coming back here. Let's face facts. But he does not have a job.
You want to know where I could see him going? And I'm not kidding you. I can see him going if he didn't get a job this year. XFL.
No,
I'm saying. Let me explain on this with the XFL. I've been saying this all along. There was never going to get any big name players or anything like that with Vince McMahon. Not with him. With the Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, there's some star power there to go get names if you want to get them. And I could see them trying to go after someone like him to be able to get his career back up, especially when he can do enough.
Here's the thing. The Carolina Panthers' biggest number one problem is Matthew. I'll be nice.
Matty Rule.
And I was nice. Aren't you proud of me, Jacob?
Oh, and yeah. No, I wanted you to be mean and nasty.
But he, I don't think that Christian was as injured as he was last year. I really don't, as he was supposedly, especially with the rolled ankle out of Miami. I think that rolled ankle came at a bad time because he had already told Matt Rule that he did not have control over him. He had already, because like you look at the Washington football game, the most creative play calling all season long came during that game. And it was Cam to Christian back to Cam to Trumbull. Yeah. And you know what? It was an epic call. Matt Rule was pissed. I was at the game, saw Maddie's face, and then they went to, and the week before in Arizona, when Christian was told to sit on the sidelines, and Christian was like, "Heck no, I'm going back out," and went back out, and Matt was not happy with that either. And then the third game was Miami. I already kind of knew it wasn't going to be a good game because Cam and one of the defenders last year when he was with the Pats got into a tiff, and the dude tried to yanked Cam's chain off of his neck after the game, and he so I kind of already knew that wasn't going to be a great game. I don't know why, I just got feeling it was abysmal. Yeah, and that's when Christian rolled his ankle and he got put on IR. No, Christian did roll his ankle, but come on, Jacob, we're not professional athletes. How long is it going to take you to come up from a rolled ankle and be fine? Right. 10 days. So it's going to send Christian McCaffrey, who's an elite running back, probably still the best running back in the league. And I said it. I'll go there. And
when healthy, but yeah, because there's other things he's not healthy with, but yeah.
But like, here's the thing. Well, it was all from like the hamstring. And here's the thing. If you know anything about anatomy, as long as your back is aligned, your hamstring doesn't get pulled as often. So where do we go, boys and girls? We go to a chiropractor for this.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And no.
I really don't like Matt Rule.
Well, no.
He's definitely changed our culture. But we had a culture, and now we don't. And I actually think that's part of the reason why Sam Mills has been elected into the Hall of Fame this year, because Sam Mills gave us our culture. And I'm glad no one is more deserving of being in the Hall of Fame than Sam Mills, in my humble opinion. And
his culture is the equivalent. I mean, Matt Rule's. His culture is the equivalent of like the 2-month-old milk, that gets culture in the bottom of the bottle.
Uh-huh.
That's the only culture that you get with a Matt Rule.
Yes. Like, there's so much I know that I can't share, but yeah, like, it's just, I know people who play for him and who played for him, and then you have who wins to come here, and to take really. Okay. Go away because watch. I watch them. I'm
we are all over the place with the internet tonight.
A little bit.
We're all over the place. It's like I listen, but I'm making sure of everything just so we don't have any pause. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what's because just to show this.
You know what the thing with Rule is? The biggest thing with Matt Rule is, and I think about this with the old coaches, and I'm gonna go back to the 80s a little. I'm gonna bring Ditka in, and Ditka was him, how uptight, how wound tight he was.
Yeah,
but Jim McMahon, Jim McMahon would disobey his offense because Mike Ditka's offenses were the most boring in the league, always. He disobeyed him all the time. Ditka would get pissed, and McMahon would just say, "Dude, chill. We scored." But the difference was Ditka would calm down. He would chill, and it's like if Ditka could withstand his ego to let the team score and just say, "Hey, chill," and he chilled. I mean, that's the most wound tight person in the history of land. If he could do that, right. So could Matt Nagy, so could Matt Rule, so could all of them. They can let them see. You don't know what the coaches do. Coaches way overcoach. They do. They overcoach. It's like they get mad when you don't make their play, when you don't do everything they want. The only way, and I've been someone who's been a volunteer coach, and I want to be a coach in the future. The way I want to coach is I want to teach the kids to make their own decisions on that court, on that field. What did you do? Why did you get thrown an interception? You have a good reason. What did you think? I'm going to get mad if you just did this to go bleh. But if you can name what you were doing and we'll improve it. Right. And it's like, and I think coaches have lost that. They've lost the thing on that. They've lost that. It's like they want to be robots for the play, and it's the idea. The idea should be you're trying to get these the players, these adults, mind you, to have kids in college. You're trying to get them. You want them to think for themselves. It's like we only have a Tom Brady or a Drew Brees or a Peyton Manning once every 20 years. We only have that there, and it's because coaches well overcoach.
Right.
You might have more
here's the thing.
Kids.
Here's the thing. What Teddy, and I'm sorry I interrupted you. Teddy Bridgewater said it, and I've actually observed this. I just thought they had moved inside, to be honest, because I live right beside the stadium, and the practice facility is behind me. So there's a bubble for indoor practice, and then there's like the backfield that's for outdoor practice, whatever. Before Teddy Bridgewater left, he gave an interview where he was like, you're not going to get much out of your players if you only give them 15 minutes of reps a day. Matt Rule doesn't coach enough. He doesn't have a conversation with his players. He yells at his coaches. He has no communication style. And that's why they're stinking. And it's sad when I literally see these guys so much happier in the off season than during the season when we were living here. So I've been here with Rule as coach for 2 years. I was here with Rivera for 2 years. The guys are just happier. Like 365 on or off. The guys were not, I mean, sometimes after a loss or whatever, they'd be upset, obviously. But overall, the guys were happy.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I'll say this with when you talked about Matt Rule do this. I know why he yells at coaches. I'll tell you where that came from. It came from Mike Holmgren to Andy Reid. It's like Mike Holmgren to Andy Reid, and they go back to that. And then before Mike Holmgren, it was it was one of those things with let's see with the Cleveland Browns, the main of the Cleveland Browns, Cincinnati Bengals, all of those. I forget the name for.
Oh yeah.
Paul Brown. It goes all the way back to that. The idea of it, then Vince Lombardi did it too. The idea of it is that it was NBC, and I see what Matt Rule's doing. He just doesn't know what he's doing. I see what his point is because he's been looking back. It's like if you yell at the coach, then the player is going to stick up for their man. If you yell at their guy. And so that Matt Rule has been he's been an assistant. He's been wherever. There's no question he's heard of that before and thought that was a good idea. The problem is he doesn't have any understanding of the coaching. And it's like you said, he doesn't coach enough. The problem is they don't coach enough, but they coach too much. They want to run every little detail of everything instead of letting the play. Here's the thing.
Yeah, trust your players.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I talked about Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, and Tom Brady. The thing about it is they had to remember Tom Brady 20 years. And it's and then Tom Brady 20 years, Manning 17.
Even Cam and with Ron, he was trusted.
Yep. He was trusted. And it's the biggest thing about it is when you let them be and you let them have their brains, use their head, and let them go out there. Oh, hell, almost in a certain way, they're calling the whole game. When you allow something like that, you're not to me, coaches that don't just manage the game, they have to coach everything, they're going overboard. And then they're going overboard, and then they're letting the players, then they blame the players for their faults. And it's in the end, you should be managing what's happening, and you should have been practicing all week in the first place. The minute you don't, you've got a mess on your hands.
Okay, so I want to tell you my little weird conspiracy theory. Totally off topic, and I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'm going to forget again. You're good. Okay, so the article I sent you guys from The Athletic the other night about Dan Snyder taking money off the stock, two sets went to everybody, the IRS, FTC, NFL owners. We all know Jerry Jones has a right beside what if they've been protecting Dan Snyder for so long to protect other teams and other owners who are doing similar things?
Sure. Oh, there's no
and
question.
We can even talk about that a little bit next week if you want.
Oh, we definitely will. Well, the thing is, it's the fact that we're going to see some turnover. I think, truly, to me, I think my Bears are going to be to win the McCaskets. I call them the McCaskets, not the McCaskies. The McCaskets, because they're all old. When they sell this team, I think they're going to be the ones with the first black owner. I really do. And it's because by itself, this is what, if not Denver right now. But I think Chicago's going to be the one. Just because, look at the perfect area. You've got Justin Fields. You've got your black quarterback, in the seventh black quarterback in the history of the Bears, by the way.
Yeah.
Justin Fields, he's got himself potential, and he's a draw. He is an absolute draw. And everything like that. And then you've got a team that, and by the way, they're also going to get themselves a dome because they've opened up Arlington Park. They're probably going to build on it.
Right.
If you have all these options, what else would it be but to get someone like a Byron Allen or any other black owner? And that's what I really have a belief. If it's not Denver that gets the first, I believe it is Chicago.
Right. And then time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's no question. By the way, one of the things I wanted to bring up is we have some new shows on Sideline Sports.
We do. So I'm going to bring in two very special guests. I've got Miss Carrie Johnson, Miss Cheese Chick,
there it is,
and Miss Megan Price, the Queen of Hoops. What's up, ladies?
Well, I am now James Bond because I am surrounded by ladies.
Hey. It's the first time in a long time for you, huh, Jacob?
Shaken, not stirred.
And Megan will take her stirred, not shaken. And I want I don't know what I want. And Carrie, what do you want?
Margarita. The fruitier, the better. So there we go.
Now I know what you're friends with.
Megan wants a Spurs shirt. Megan wants a Spurs shirt.
I'm not talking about the Spurs until the draft.
Okay.
I'm just saying, Megan, at least you didn't have a duel or stall right before your game.
Right. Yeah.
enough.
Yeah, definitely.
So tell us all about your show.
I'm so excited for our show. This is probably one of my favorite projects that we have coming out. It's a 30-minute show. I think that's key. Like, I love doing the hour shows, but I love that this is something different too. You know, like we can hop on, we can hop off. We're not going to take up a ton of your time. We're an all-female cast. We're the only all-female show on Sideline Sports.
Awesome.
So we will be covering a large array of topics. Probably any sports in Charlotte, I would guess, with Jen being there. And just and Carrie's a huge football fan, Chiefs fan, so we'll definitely be talking NFL as well. And y'all know I love basketball, so basketball is going to be on there.
Oh, of course.
WNBA too, and I'm expecting some blues from Miss Carrie.
Well, I also like the fact that it's going to give us a voice to be able to give our take on what's happening in the sports world, whether it's in the swimming or soccer, with the ladies finally getting the nod that they deserve, the same pay to female referees, to even the Deshaun Watson type situations that come up. We're going to get to have our voice heard, and I think it's a missing voice currently, and I'm looking forward to being part of the voice that stands up and says, well, this is what it seems like from our perspective.
Well, let me say this, and I'm proud of you girls. I really am. And I want to say this. This is the last era. We were bringing up Cam Newton earlier, and the thought processes in the old school and all that stuff. Just realize that this is going to be history, because Cam Newton's era is the very last era where anybody is ever going to know the old school way that women didn't like sports, that women didn't do these things, now mind you, they're going to still know. I mean, if you go to farm towns, everything, they're still going to know, like the housewives, they're going to know those things, but the WNBA is going to get bigger. Women's soccer is huge. It's like,
well, I'll just say I come from a family of female ball players. Like my grandmother was a state championship winner, and I live in a real small segregated area. It was segregated for a really long time. So and we own like 60% of the state championships just in this one area. So it might be the end of the era for comments like Cam. But I will say, I didn't necessarily disagree with everything he had to say. I think it was how he said it was the problem.
Bingo. And I said, go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. And to back Megan up also, and I didn't say this earlier, my great aunt is actually like part of the MLB team from World War One. So yeah, that's part of really cool. When we were my dad always teaches me, even then Perry, I'm gonna let you tell your story too. I'll shut up now.
Oh no, words matter. The order you put them in matter, and you can. In thinking before you speak, gosh darn it, everybody in this world needs to take a pause before they open their mouth to say something. And I think that's what Cam is notorious for, that actually. So, second time that he's majorly tried to chew his leg off, despite being the person that he is. That being said, my first football memory was when first memory is I always watched football with Daddy on Sundays. Got to pull the pull tab off the Gold Coors can, laying on the couch eating popcorn. And so I've watched football since I was in pigtails. I had pads, I had jerseys, I had helmets. You name it, I had it, because that was what, and I called it. The best story is Daddy was popping us some more popcorn, and I got all excited, jumping up and down. And he's like, "Carrie, what happened?" I said, "Man went boop with the football." And so I called it football.
Oh, I love it.
Fortunately or unfortunately, Rob now knows that I call it football, so we watch football now at our house. But
goes into Carrie. You're gonna get her.
now I have now shared it with the internet, so I'm now football lady. I don't know. But, you know,
trademark it.
There you go. Anyway, it's being able to connect with people. Sports is a social thing.
Yeah.
It gives you a platform to connect with people that you may or may not have passed in a different circle. And it gives you a common goal. It may not be the common team, but a common goal or a common thing to cheer about. And I think that that's kind of the core of where I see sports in general is it's something that brings people across all walks of life and lets you share something to cheer and be connected to.
And I was going to get this, and I appreciate that. And, you know, the thing I was bringing was the fact that I was saying it before, this is the last era, you know, of people knowing that, because women are getting bigger and bigger with sports. And all I was going to finish with is you women have got history. I mean, there's some things on ESPN, they have their shows, but it's like you women, whether it's on ESPN or a startup like this, your history. There's going to be, in the next 10 years, there's going to be all kinds of announcers. The Cubs have their first announcer, you know, for a woman announcer. There's going to be all kinds of announcers. There's going to be 2 and 3 announcers, 3 women. There's going to be all that stuff that there with men. It's going to be the 50-50 thing, but you're going to be in the history, and you should be proud.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, most definitely agree. I love that we got a platform together, and I can't wait for it to start. Y'all check us out next Tuesday.
Yes.
Did we decide on 7:30?
Yes, we did. 7:30 to 8. That way,
Yeah.
if we decide to expand to an hour, we have that extra 30-minute question.
Yeah. So we're
But
super
that's later
excited
on down
to
the
do
line.
that to you guys.
And it's called 3 Chicks in a Pod. So you better be checking this out. We'll be looking for you.
And we'll be announcing on Facebook and Twitter after this show ends. And Denzel, thank you again for your service. I don't know if you saw
Yes, thank
his
you.
comments or not, but yeah.
I can't see his comments, but thank you, sir.
Oh, he was just saying that when he was in the military, of course, there's troops from all over, and one of the bonding agents was sports, and then food and beer and alcohol. And I'll say girls too, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, who do you think is Beyonce, Jay? I'm going to let you type it. Tell us. He's wanting to know, since we're Donald Destiny's Child of Sideline Sports, who Beyonce is.
Oh, I'm y'all. I'm
going to go with
I don't like
probably
Beyonce.
Megan.
I don't like Beyonce.
Nah.
Well, you know what? I can't. And
I
really,
can't
she
be married to
either,
Jay-Z.
so.
I know Jen. Jen's it.
I can't be married to Jay-Z. I'm already married. Sorry. Jacob, I'm still not.
By default, you're Beyonce. There we go.
I won't be married to Cardi B. I will not be married to Cardi B. Whatever.
But
she's
got a
already,
WAP.
she's already
Come on,
married,
Jacob.
sir.
Probably her 4th
Jacob
marriage by
Z.
now. Yeah.
All right, Jay. I like the new nickname, and I'm daring you to put that as your tagline next week. Just
Jacob
saying.
This is good. I see you're all gonna have fun.
We are.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I think we'll have a lot of fun.
I'm glad for you guys. I really am.
I think we have a really good niche. I don't think I've been looking. I haven't seen a lot of females podcasts out there for sports. So I don't know. And plus,
I do think one day we need to have like a week, like a thing where we all are together in the same room. Like, you know, our shows in the same room finally. Just like make it a little special gimmick where we all, like, you 3 in the same room, you and I, Jen, you know, all that stuff. We pick a studio. We just do something. Let's do it for 1 week somewhere.
That would be fun.
Oh, no question. I was telling her she had Netflix. Well,
and Jay said,
I killed my own joke, Netscape.
Yeah.
And then just and for me, I know it's kind of a dream come true. And Megan's been a great mentor to watch over the last few years because she really was like the of sideline sports, for lack of a better term. Yeah. So,
well, I definitely appreciate Megan for having me on Carousel. That was one of my first starts before Pundits Pundit came up, so I appreciate her having me on. And next year, I will not pick the Kings. Whatever. That was we need a
Memphis. We need a Memphis rep. So come in and do Memphis for us. That'll probably go a little bit better.
We had to go way above and beyond to show that I didn't give a shit.
No, it's okay. And you know what? It gives you something to come in, and because when you do something like this, you got to report the news no matter what. Like, it doesn't matter if it's your team or it's not your team. You still got to put the story out there and talk about it and try to be unbiased. Go Spurs, go forever, por vida. But it's tough sometimes when it's not your team.
Well, my big thing, I wanted to bring that up. It was like, my big thing about it was the team I couldn't care less, but I loved Vivek Ranadive's forward version of, you know, every single way, you know, from like the Maloofs did it also, you know, being the first on Twitter, being on blockchain, being in, you know, everything, you know, Bitcoin, all that stuff. They're all the first to do all this. And that was my interest. I was going to bring a few minutes up and then go up to the business side. And then we all, as we all talked about, we all had to like cut time.
Right. So there were so many of us.
Yeah, and then we had to cut time, so I had to go to the games, and I'm like, well, I'll watch the games and do all that stuff, but it's like it's not my team, and it's like I had for the reasoning I picked Sacramento. They're a terrible team, so the reasoning I had to pick Sacramento, I had to find the positives of something like that. This year, I'm going to go find a different team that's fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely. I even think Indiana, the team that they had the trades with at the trade deadline, would be a good team to watch next season.
Absolutely, Indiana would be nice because especially Buddy Hield was number 2 in 3-pointers this year behind Steph.
Right.
So like, they're going to have a good offense for next year. So you said, are you at 7:30 on Thursday?
Tuesday.
And then great segue because at 11 o'clock on Tuesday, Jacob, I'll let you take it from there.
Ha, ha, ha. Well, I am part of a new show. This is my 5th or 6th show. I'm losing count. Confidential. It is with 6 of us, and we're going to have one. We're going to have one up pretty darn soon. I mean, I am with, I'm trying to think, Tyler, JB. Let's see. There's 6 of us at this point at these things. It is talking about the Cubs week after week. Cubs have been my team since '84.
Tyler.
Yep. J. Yep. JB.
Tyler's on there. I know Tyler's on there.
Yeah.
Jordan Long, I believe.
Yeah, Jordan Long. Yes.
Steve Schwanda.
Oh yeah,
Steve. He is the lovable, forgotten one. Jordan always is. He's the one that always takes off his comments.
Right. All right, guys. Well, I have to duck off. Got a couple other things I'm doing tonight, but thank you so much for letting us announce our show. Remember to check us out Tuesdays at 7:30 Eastern. 3 Chicks in a Pod.
But 3 Chicks in a Pod, we are glad to see you, and thank you guys for coming on.
And that's Megan, Queen of Hoops, and we'll talk to you later, Miss Megan. Bye.
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 Do we got JB?
I didn't know.
So, do we have JB real quick? Jen. Oh, this is going to be one of these memories.
I don't know why you can't hear me.
No. I'm just saying, this is going to be one of those memories we're going to look back and everybody's going to laugh. It's like you have like dial-up.
So it's weird because it's happening after the wind flows.
Yeah.
did not ask JB to come on, but and so my, what is it, Netscape or whatever it's called,
Earthlink, Netscape, whatever the AOL.
I swear about those scores. Hear me?
I can barely hear you, but it's like
okay. Okay, move like okay. Can you hear me or no? Can you hear me better now?
I can hear you good. And it's like I wanted to also promote one more show that it is outside of, it's a project that I'm doing outside of Sideline, and I wanted to promote it a little bit. I am doing something with some friends of mine back home. I'm with them, and they didn't have a name, so I kind of named it, calling it the Pundit Tournament Challenge. And the idea of it is they create unique things. Like the first tournament, for instance, is going to be the greatest movie stars of all time. And they do it based off like conferences and brackets and stuff. So I get on video a couple different, I'd say a couple times a week, and I name off the scores, and we name off what we're going to be doing and stuff. And it's like, and we're going to try to see if we can get some more technology and some more visuals with it. But it's kind of an idea right now. It's the first time we've done a video with this.
Can you see my?
Can you hear me?
Can you? Uh-huh.
Good.
Yeah,
I can hear you.
Okay.
Did you hear what my?
Yeah,
did you hear my thing?
I did. It sounds fun.
Oh
and
yeah.
I'll check it out definitely. We need to. I don't know. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Okay,
We're like a first date.
I know. We're like Raj and the chick who plays the thing in library first date. Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But
I can have fun with this because I know in 10 years we're gonna laugh our butt off at episode number 2. Like, huh? Hello, huh? Well, huh?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
While we're in studio.
Well, if you heard me, but really use score on if I'll have access next.
Kids are going to be going boomers. Well, with that said, I am glad I think we had a really good show tonight, and I look forward to next week. Did I lose you? You're almost there. Hello?
You.
I can hear you, and I had a great show this week with you. We had fun.
Me too. We did. Sorry.
And you, we will have a great one for next week, and you have a great night, okay?
Thanks. You too. And I'll talk to you later.
Take care. Bye-bye.